Adar marbin night until when? Number one. Until when? Not only this, and משנכנס אדר מרבין בשמחה, most of the people think it's in Masechet Megillah, in the issue of Purim. No, it's דווקא in Masechet Ta'anit. Ta'anit, which is talking about, sad day, not happy days. What it says, look at line 6, כשם שמנכנס אב ממעטין בשמחה, כך משנכנס אדר מרבין בשמחה. Just like you, when the Av, Chodesh Av entered, you diminish simcha, the same way on Adar, you increase simcha. So the main thing is Av, is not Adar. Adar is by the way, but it's not even in Megillah. And Rashi says over there, Mishinichnas Adar, okay, when Adar entered tonight, until when? Said, Yemen Isim Ayu Israel Purim Pesach. That means there is a common denominator between Purim and Pesach. It starts now, tonight, and we have to be very, very, very happy until after Pesach. Every day we have to be happy. But to emphasize the Simcha is an Adar and Nisan. So why the Simcha, look, the question number 2 is why the Simcha is starting, in the beginning of the month. Usually when we celebrate, when Purim is, what the date? Do you know the date of Purim?
Is the 15 of Adar.
14. 14.
14 of Adar.
We say 15 because Sukkot and Pesach is 15.
No, because in Halab,
Okay?
we used
But
to celebrate 15.
14 of Adar, this year is
We celebrate.
and Thursday, Yud Gimel Adar is Ta'anit Esther. So now, why we start the Simcha tonight? Why not act like every holiday? Let's make Simcha and Purim. Why we start the beginning? We start to begin the Simcha on Rosh Chodesh Adar. למה חוגגים את תחילת הצרה ולא את זמן הישועה? Because in Adar, if you think, it was very sad. Haman has the decree to destroy the Jewish people. So why we are celebrating from the day of the troubles? We have to celebrate Yudalet and Tetvav when we've been saved from Haman. So you understand the question?
Yes.
Yes.
The question is said. So in number 2, what is the connection between Purim and Pesach? But the Rashi says you have to start in Adar and it's continue all the way to Pesach. That means there is a common denominator between Purim and Pesach. What is the common denominator between Purim and Pesach? So in Masechet Ta'anit is, Ta'anit means fast. Masechet Ta'anit is talking about, about all the set days, Tisha B'Av, Ta'anit Esther, Shiva Asar B'Tamuz, all the tzomot that we have. And he says, look, line 16. היינו דאמר רבי יוחנן אלמלא הייתי באותו דור, לא קבעתיו אלא בעשירי. On תשעה באב. What is תשעה? 9th of Av, נכון?
Yes. Yes.
Now the Rabbi Yochanan says, if I would be in the same generation, I would make the first day on the 10th of Av, not 9th of Av. Why? Because most of the fire was on the 10th of Av. The majority of the fire was on the 10th. So now what you ask, so why we have Tisha B'Av? Why Tisha B'Av is the decision of the rabbis to make Tisha B'Av Yom Tov? Why not Asara B'Av? Why not the 10th of Av? Is the question clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody has an answer? Why we celebrate Tisha B'Av on Tisha B'Av, not on Yud B'Av?
Because it
Yud
was the
B'Av
beginning.
was
Because
the
when it started.
majority of the fire. So look what the answer of the Gemara. The Rabbanan in yellow. The Rabbanan athalta defur'anu ta'adifa. He said, you're not going by the quantity, how much fire. He's going by the beginning.
Yes.
When the beginning of the destruction is Tisha B'Av.
Yes.
So you start to say the beginning is Tisha B'Av. So we see here, that the beginning is more important than the event itself. So now, what happened now? We said, no, in Chodesh Adar, starting, what we start in חודש אדר, ראש חודש אדר משמיעים על השקלים. Remember this Shabbat,
Yes,
what Shabbat
Shabbat
is this?
Shekalim. Shabbat
Shabbat
Shekalim.
Shekalim. How many ספרי Torah we going to take out?
3.
3.
3, נכון. ויהיה פרשת השבוע,
Rosh
and
Chodesh.
we have פרשת שקלים, we have פרשת ראש חודש. It's
Yes.
Rosh Chodesh too. So the 3 ספרי Torah we taking out. But in ראש חודש אדר, משמיעים על השקלים, we tell the Jewish people to bring מחצית השקל. כן. באדר, line 5, באדר היו גובים על השקלים, כדי שיהיו כולם מגיעים ללשכה קודם ראש חודש ניסן. He wanted the money to come before ראש חודש ניסן. Do you remember the money of מחצית השקל, why we raised the money, for what?
קורבנות.
איזה קורבן?
תמיד.
No,
קורבן
Which
תמיד.
קורבן?
קורבן
from the
תמיד.
חטא העגל, לא?
לא למה, why? קורבן ציבור. Okay, public. What is קורבן ציבור? How many קורבנות ציבור we have every day? 2. In the morning and in the evening. Do you remember the name of the קורבן? קורבן התמיד.
תמיד, yes.
נכון? Do you remember? קורבן התמיד in the morning?
Yes. קורבן תמיד.
The Kohen never start. The first korban we do is korban atamid. That's number 1. No one allowed to bring any other korban. People waiting in the lobby, people waiting outside with their korbanot, they have to wait first of all korban atamid. After korban atamid of the morning finished, now the whole korbanot start to go on. And how they conclude the day? With korban atamid number 2.
תמיד, another one.
Yes.
Korban Tamid. So you begin with Korban Tamid and you end up with Korban Tamid. So Korban Tamid is Korban Tzibur. And Korban Tzibur, when we said Korban Tzibur, is from Mahatzit HaShekel. Why we don't want to give from Chodesh Nisan? Because they're different. It's Rosh Chodesh Nisan is a new year. Remember, it's a new year, so they won't take from another year. It should be for this year. That's why we're doing it on Chodesh Adar. Mahatzit HaShekel, so we see that Mahatzit HaShekel is the common thread between Purim and Pesach. Mahatzit HaShekel connect Adar to Nisan, because we collect money all the way to the last day of Nisan, of Adar, and then in Nisan, we bring the Korban, when the Mishkan is built up. So there is a connection. Now we are going, Be'ezrat Hashem, 2 weeks from today, Mamash, 2 weeks from today, we're going to celebrate Hag Purim.
Yes.
And if you know, I'm sure you know, at least in my house, my wife started with Pesach already in Tu B'Shvat. You know, we start to clean up, we starting to get matzot. So you see some mixed up between Purim and Pesach. While we are worried about Mishlach Manot, Kriyat Megillah, but especially you, the woman, worry about the cleaning of the house. You know, that there is no chometz, but it's both of them together. So already from the reality, you can see there is a connection between Purim and Pesach. So I would like to, from the song, there is a beautiful song that we sing every, when we were in the kindergarten, we learned. It says, Shoshanat Yaakov, Tzahala V'Samecha. You remember, you know this song?
No.
Shoshanat Yaakov, Tzahala V'Samecha. That's a very famous song. And now the question is, the poet of this song, what he wanted to give us, what message? There is one rabbi, Rabbi Moshe David Wali, his name. He was a student of Rabbeinu Moshe Haramchal, Chaim Lutzato, and he was his student also. He was a doctor, big-time doctor, and he was big Mekubal too, and he gave us some light to the song. So let's say, what is Shoshana? Do you know what Shoshana mean?
Flower.
Huh?
A rose, like a rose.
Okay.
Rose.
But Shoshana
Rose.
is also is
Rose.
a name of a flower.
A flower, yes.
Rose, very good. Rose. By the way, the people we named them Rosa, Rose. The
Is
Hebrew name is Shoshana.
Shoshana.
Shoshana is a name, beautiful rose. But you know what's bad about this flower?
It has
Has a lot of
Thorns.
Good.
That can pinch you.
espinas.
The
You know,
thorns.
you call it again, you call it thorns. נכון? Thorns.
Thorns.
You know what is
Yes.
thorn in Hebrew? Kotzim.
Coats. Yes.
Kotzim. So he said, you know, you have to be careful when if you need to cut off rows, you have kotzim, so you have to special vessel that is called mazmera, like a scissor. You know, very careful to cut off the scissor. When you put it in a vessel inside the house, always the palm part to the rose. I remember my father, Zichron Livracha, he was a gardener. Every Friday, he brought to my mother roses. But he put everything. He said to my mother, don't touch it. I will put it in the vase. You know, in the vessel, he put the water and it's beautiful flower. So now, why the poet sang Shoshanat Yaakov Tza'ala V'Samecha? Now, Yaakov, we know who is Yaakov. Who is Yaakov? Yaakov Avinu. But
Yes.
Yaakov is Israel. Is Am Israel.
Yes.
Said the rose of Yaakov Tza'ala V'Samecha. She was happy and happier. She was very happy. What is behind this big statement? So he said, Rabbi David Wali, he said the poet took it from a pasuk in Megillat Esther. Let's see the pasuk. ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך. Mordechai went out from the king. בלבוש
מלכות.
מלכות, with a dress of royalty. תכלת,
תכלת.
רחוב, ועטרת זהב גדולה, ותכריך בוץ וארגמן. 5 different colors, suits. But the main color, do you remember what is the main color?
Red.
תכלת.
יפה, very good, תכלת. Do you remember what is תכלת? Light
It's
blue.
blue. Yes.
Light blue. Not blue. Blue is kahol. Light blue. Remember, just keep this in mind. We need it for later. And
Baby
what the
blue.
pasuk? והעיר שושן צהלה
צהלה
ושמחה.
ושמחה.
And the city, what is Shushan? Is the capital city of Iran.
Yes.
In the city of Shushan, Tzahala v'Samecha. So he took the word Tzahala v'Samecha from this pasuk, but he put the word Shoshanat Yaakov. So Shoshana is the letter, the word like Shushan. Shushan is the capital city. Tzahala v'Samecha. But where the poet took another source, if you know, how many of you say Shir Hashirim? I know Ruth like to say Shir Hashirim.
Yes.
But remember in Shir Hashirim, look what it says here, line 13. אני חבצלת השרון שושנת העמקים.
עונת העמקים.
Shoshana,
בין
you know the Shoshana in the valleys. Now look at the next pasuk, line 14. כשושנה בין החוחים,
החוחים.
כן
כן
רעייתי
רעייתי
בין הבנות.
בין הבנות.
What is Shoshana? Shoshana in the midst of the Hohim. You know what is Hohim? Thorns. So thorns is good or bad?
bad.
Bad. It's very
Yes.
negative. So how could she be happy? Why the Shoshana is happy if around her is only thorns? You understand the question? That's the question of Purim. We will see now the connection between this song and Purim and Pesach.
Wow.
So I want to be clear with you. So the poet says that he takes Shoshana Yaakov Tzala v'Samecha. He took it from the pasuk from Shir Hashirim, Keshoshana ben HaChochim, Ken Ra'ayati ben Abanot. So he said Shoshana ben HaChochim, you know, is kotzim, is thorns. So how could you be happy in the midst of thorns? If around you, you will have thorns around you, you will not be very happy. So what's going on? What's behind it? One of the commentary, Rabbi Moshe David, what he says, look line 17. כשושנה בין החוחים, זה רמז למלכות שהיא גולה וסורה בארצות הגויים. חוחים is Panama. Why Panama? You have a beautiful Jewish community, but around you there are many goyim. The goyim is the hochim. So you could be happy from A to Z. But I tell you, the problem is if I am in the midst of the goyim, I have to tell you something. You know, yesterday they opened a big supermarket near our house. My wife was thrilled. We were so waiting for this supermarket because usually we drive half an hour, and it's 5 minutes from our house. We can beautiful supermarket, better than America. I never saw something, but you know what was the thorns? All the stuffs are Arabs. I could not find one Jewish man from the
Wow.
staff.
I hate that.
My wife said, I cannot go in.
Ah,
I just cannot. After October 7, the picture about them is different. I never trusted them, especially this period of time, especially. But probably the owner of the store, his name is Yochananov, by the way, is a big net, big chain. He has Yochananov. He probably could not find Jewish people. He could not find employees, probably, most likely. But the Hohim is Kotzim. It's Hohim. So if you're in New York, you are in Panama, you are in Boston, if you're in the Galut, he says, Keshoshana ben HaHochim, is to show you that we are in the midst of the Galut. He's talking about the Galut. But I want you to know, he said, look what he says at the end. אבל סוף סוף, at the end, רוצה המלך הקדוש, Hashem, the Holy King, לכלות הקוצים, to destroy, to wipe out the קוצים. ולהרימה, when Hashem will wipe out the קוצים. Rabotai, do you know what we're doing now in Gaza? Now we stop. What, since October 7th until now what? We are trying to destroy the קוצים. The thorns. We're trying to remove every single thorn, every single one. Not to have any kots, any kotzim. That's called complete destruction. There is no way. I tell you something. I don't know about you. I'm telling you about myself. I am thrilled and happy that Trump was elected as a president.
we too.
Yes.
I'm glad that you agree with me. I tell you why. Not only this, I see him as a Shliach Hashem. He's a messenger of God. He said himself, they shot me to the ear. It's one inch is in my brain. So Hashem wanted me to be the president. Otherwise, I would die. But what he said about Gaza, did you hear what he said? He said to remove all the Gaza citizens out of Gaza. It sounds like, could you imagine one of the Israelis will say it? They will call him racist.
Wishful
Get out
thinking.
of Gaza. And look at that common sense. The logic behind it. He is a very strong common sense. He said, look, okay, let's say we'll make ceasefire, and then what will happen 5 years from now? Another war.
Will not work.
Other people will get killed. And he says it's going for decades and decades.
We have to take them out of there.
So the only solution is to remove them out. And I said, I crossed my finger for this.
בעזרת השם.
בעזרת השם.
בעזרת השם,
Wow.
ממש ככה. ממש בעזרת השם. בעזרת השם, he said, we have to take the קוצים. It's really קוצים. And then the Simcha, Shoshanat Yaakov, and Hashem will show to everybody. Now, Trump knows that Hashem is behind us. He saw all the picture. Now, he said, the whole world saw yesterday what happened to Biba's family. The whole world. But Trump saw more than the whole world. He saw that they killed 2 babies. They killed them, destroy them, and the mother. He said, it's inhuman. It's very hard to digest. Even the mafia people has some red line. They have some red line. They know what is the border, the boundaries. But there is no boundary. So they teach, the first thing they teach in Kita Aleph, when they said, we know when we come to Kita Aleph, the first grade, the teacher, Shalom Kita Aleph. Every student says, Shalom Kita Aleph. And what it says over in Gaza and Judea and Samaria, he says, Palestinian. We have to destroy the Jewish people. That's the first thing they teach in Kita Aleph.
Wow.
So there is no hope. These little boys or girls, they're growing up with hatred. Kotzim, kotzim, kotzim. And we have to destroy this kotzim. And Hashem said, eventually will show them who is the King of Kings. And then everybody will say, Hashem, מלך, השם, מלך, השם ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Right.
So Israel בגלותם, why he says Yaakov and not Israel? You know, Yaakov in the Galut is called Yaakov. In Israel, when the Jewish people, all of them will come to Israel, it says Israel. But now, Matovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Israel. So every time when you see in the text, you know, Yaakov as a nation, we're talking about the Galut. When you're talking Am Israel, talking about Eretz Israel. Now, let's go to the big question of the poet. The big question of the poet, how this Shoshana could be so happy when she is surrounded by Kotzim. How could she be happy? The answer is the next sentence of, the next sentence of the song. What the next? Look line 5. Bir'otam yachad chelet Mordechai. Said, I put yachad big, you see?
Yes.
Bir'otam yachad, when they sing together, the tchelet, the light blue of Mordechai. What does that mean? This word yachad is the key word here that will give us two answers.
Yes.
When he said bir'otam yachad, what is yachad? What does together mean? So now there are two meanings to the word together. Follow me and listen carefully. Number one, שכל הרועים היו ביחד. Now we are a group, נכון? We have now
Yes.
today, we have in the group, we have 7, 8 people. Let's say we are 10 people, okay, in the group.
11
So
today,
we have
Rabbi.
10 people in the group, all of us looking at the text. You see the text?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now that's Yahad. We, me, myself, and you, we are together following the text. So we are together following the text. That's one Yahad.
Yes.
There is another Yahad. When you look from your window, do you have courtyard? You have the nature? Or you
Yes.
see buildings?
Nature.
Nature, oh, you are lucky. In big city like Panama, you know, it's like Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv or New York, when you open the window, what do you see? Buildings. I am living in Moshav. Moshav is like a farm. When I look outside and see, you know what I see? I have vineyard behind me. I have crop. I have all the...
You
know,
can see what I am seeing.
That's the nature. But you know what is Yahad? I see grapes. And I
You
see
see?
cabbage.
This is
I
out
see fig.
of my
I
window.
see pomegranate. I see etrog. I see pears. I see dates. I see the figs. But you know what I see? All of them together. So one together, when I see many components, and I see all the components said Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo. Akol Hashem. You said that I see all the components in the nature, and I see Akol Beyachad. So I can combine all the components. And the first Yachad we saw, we are together watching one details, one specific. We are together watching on the text. But there is another Yachad when you look from your window or you look outside, you know, you will see many, many details. But you see all the details as a team under one umbrella. And now I'd like to show you what is this Shoshana, what ability she had to be happy, and the Kotzim is surrounded by, you know, on the Shoshana. Now, when I told you, did you understand the difference between the two, the word Yahad?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Now, is it contradict each other? I'll remind you, one Yahad that we all as a group, many people see one item together, and one Yahad that I see many
One is saying
components
the other.
outside and make them under one umbrella. Both of Yahad, I want to emphasize to you, it is not contradiction. That's a formula for a big victory. It's a win-win. And we will, during the shiur, I will explain to you. Don't forget, today I would like to make sure, you know, the 55 minutes, 60 minutes, not more. So I have to be on time. It's good for you. I know that many of you has some business to do.
It's not the scene that Am Israel and Purim, they are not biyahad.
Exactly.
Sha'am Israel. That's
Yes.
good. That's what I say. Now, when Esther, Mordechai said to Esther to go to the king, what did she say to him?
No, she was afraid.
She was afraid. Why?
He will kill her
He will kill her. How do you know?
because she cannot approach the king without being summoned.
Without permission.
Very good. You remember there is an invitation to come to the
Yes.
king.
She was not invited.
Yeah. But he said, so you know what Mordechai said to her? Oh, that's why you are a queen. I made you a queen to be the messenger of the Jews. You think that Hashem, he said, he said, go, run away from the mission. Hashem will give us the Yeshua from another woman or another man.
Exactly. Yes.
She got it very hard, and she said, okay, I'm going. Ba'asher avadeti. Whatever will happen, will happen. But she got, the message from her uncle, Mordechai, so strong, and she understood in 1 minute that she is a messenger of God. And she has to go to save the Jewish people. What is the first thing she said to Mordechai?
Sumu alay.
Yafeh.
No.
But do you remember the pasuk? Look what he says. Line 14. Lech kenos et kol ha-Yehudim. You know what is lech kenos et kol ha-Yehudim? Go gather
Put them
all
together. Gather them.
Ruth, you just mentioned 2 minutes ago. What
Yes.
is number one to get a victory?
Yahad.
Biyahad.
United.
Lech kenos et
Get
kol
them all
ha-Yehudim.
together and pray for me.
All of them together. That's the Yahad Arishon. Remember the Yahad Arishon? First of all, unity. And this is so truth. And we see today, there is one girl, I want to know, maybe you heard about her, that she was released a week ago. Not in Parashat Bo. If you remember, I mentioned her name to you. Her name is Agam Berger. You ever remember this name, Agam
Yes.
Berger?
Yes.
I told you in Parashat Bo, Bet Aleph, it was a hint, Berger Adam. Berger Agam is the abbreviation of her name and last name.
Wow.
And she said she didn't want to be released on Shabbat.
Yes.
Yes.
And she took a big risk. And she said, Be'emunah baharti ve'be'emunah hazarti.
Wow.
I chose to believe in God. That's what this young girl, she said. Unbelievable hero. She's a hero today. And
She wanted a
Shabbat
Siddur
on Shabbat.
rabbi.
She refused it. And the terrorists respected her.
She wanted a
Respected
Siddur
her.
and she got a Siddur rabbi.
You know what she said today? She asked to connect 100,000 Jewish children, all of them together, 100,000 Jewish children to say Shema Israel, to pray to God, and to give tzedakah, to give to Hashem, to release the kidnapped people.
Wow.
That's what she asked today. And this lady she's 21 years old. 21, but she understood, and she told us, the terrorists told them, they were 6 girls. Listen what they said to her. We're scared of you when you are united. When the Jewish people are united, we're scared to death from them. That's what the terrorists said. And the moment in Simchat Torah, if you remember, we were in the peak of split of the Jewish nation. We were not together at all.
I know.
And we're still not together. We still have to work on this. That's one Yahad. יש גם את היחד השני. Do you remember how many suits Mordechai had? 5. Remember, look what it said, line 17. תכלת, חור, ארגמן, זהב ובוץ. 5. What did he say? בראותם יחד תכלת. Why תכלת? He didn't say the other colors, only the תכלת. תכלת was only one of them. But יהודי שושן ידעו לראות את כל עצמם. You know why it says only תכלת? The Jewish people of Shushan, they've been trained to see all the components together. You know what is all the component together? to see the tchelet, the hur, the argaman, the zahav, the boots, everything, because we learn already tchelet is the color of kisei kavod,
Yes.
the color of Hashem's throne. And he said the color. So תכלת, ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך. Who is המלך?
Hashem.
Hashem.
Hashem. תכלת. Do you remember I say purpose in Hebrew? I told you many times. I would say in Yiddish. They think it's Yiddish, but it's Hebrew. תכליס.
Tachlis.
Tachlis.
תכלית. What is תכלית? תכלת.
Decision.
תכלת. The tachlit, the purpose of a human being should be close to Hashem. When you are close to Hashem, you really, you are doing what Hashem wanted to do. You cannot be close to Him if you're not doing the mitzvot, as you say. So tchelet was only. So what I'm trying to tell you, listen now carefully. You know how many now we're talking about 9 years of kingdom of Achashverosh. 9 years is not 9 days. 9 years. Now, you know how many days since October 7? 525 days about. Every day. Now, every day we hear news. One day this, one day this, one day this. The same thing the Jewish people in Shushan. Every day they hear about the decree of Haman, of Hitler. Okay? And all the manipulations, that the Haman doing against the Jewish people. But you know what? They wanted to see all of them together. What happened in October 7 in Simchat Torah, there are many things happened since then. Many, many events. I cannot give you the line. But the chief of staff resigned. The head of the intelligent people of IDF resigned. Many command officers been resigned. And, the IDF working day and night, 24/7 against Hamas, against Iran, against Syria, against Lebanon, on 7 fronts. So many things. But you know what is the point is? To see all these things together. All the, all the hadashot, all the news that we hear, he said, okay, what happened? Trump now is a new president. I tell you now, I have nothing against, Biden, but I tell you, with your permission, give me your opinion. I read the law, the Hag, you ever heard about the Hag? Hag is the people that's sitting in the city called Hag, and they see that they judge people, and they claim that we have genocide in Gaza.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, if Bibi Netanyahu or Gallant, that was the Minister of Security, if they're going through one of the Europe countries, they can put them in jail. That's Hag. But according to Hag, if 2 states fighting together, there is no obligation to one state to give food to the enemy. Now, people calling Hamas terrorist group. Hamas is not terrorist group, it's a state. Hamas is more than 2 million citizens. It's a state. It's not a group. It's more than 2 million, and around them there are many, many support them, especially Iran. So now, if Biden would be smart enough, and he saw the movie, I said, why you force us and you yourself give food to them? If we will not give them supplies, no water, no electricity, believe me, within 1 week, all the kidnapped people will be back. 1 week. And because USA forced us, that I said, thank God that Trump, came and changed the policy completely. How could you dare? How could you dare give them supplies? And they're killing us. Not only killing us, the Red Cross. The Red Cross, there is a law in Hague, Red Cross could go to visit the prisoners.
Yes, but not Jews.
No, they didn't save no one.
No medication, nothing. So where is the world? Why you support them? I mean, I don't want to see, little children dying, but I said there is no way. There is no way that my people, 2 babies will die from hunger and their babies will be alive. I said, don't supply. That's it. Don't supply. I think deeply. If Biden think deeply, it's a mistake. That's my belief. It is a big mistake. if you want everybody to be released, first of all, you didn't take soldiers. You take citizens. You take old men. Today, they brought the dead body of Mansour. Mansour is close to 90 years old, 80 something.
Haram.
And they killed him.
They killed him and kept him for a whole year.
What?
They killed him and did not deliver him for another year. I mean, there's no humanity in that. There's no
No, that's I
conscience.
said they're inhuman. Inhuman.
Inhuman.
Not even animals. Inhuman. They are not in the category of people, of human being. But the world can see it. How could you claim us? You blame us for genocide.
We are the genocide.
That's the hypocrisy of the world. That's why Esav Sonel Yaakov. But you know, they are Kotzim. All of them Kotzim. We have to see, even if you have Kotz, you know, in this case, you know, you say Sinwar and Nasrallah, and they have farm in Iran. If you see all Aseret Bnei Haman, all of them in Gehinnom, in hell now. They are dancing together, you know, together over there. All of them. Haval, I said, you know, really pity that Bibi and the government did not put USA under a big pressure not to give even one truck. And you know who took the trucks? The terrorists, not the citizen. Not even the Arab citizen. They don't care about their citizen.
They don't want them.
They want them to be slaves. That's what they wanted them. They want every
The Jews, they want Israel to take care of them.
That's why, my dear friend, you know, we're not like objective, but I'm telling the truth. That's why, you know, we still them. We must get rid of every Hamasnik.
Definitely.
Everyone. That's why the plan of Trump is perfect. Perfect. And he said Egypt can take them, Jordan can take them, you know, everybody, you know, can take some. And now you ask them, they don't want to get them. Why Egypt? If you like your brothers, why you don't take some, you know, take 300,000 people, you know, and Jordan take another 500,000, and Saudi Arabia will take another 500,000. What's so bad? You are brothers, no? No. They know that it's a poison. Germany and Europe opened their border for Syrian Arabs. Now they regret. Because the Islamic world, they control Europe.
Yes.
They control Europe. Stupid movement.
France has no hope anymore to beat them. They took over France and they're responsible for every problem in France.
No.
No.
That's true. That's true. So now I would like to continue. So why the Shoshana is happy? You know why the Shoshana is happy? Because she has the ability to elevate herself above the Kotzim and to see that the Kotzim is part of plans God's plan. Even the Kotzim Hashem created. But she can see, you understand? Now, when you have a crisis, when you are out of the crisis, when you elevate yourself above the crisis, they said, okay, it happened. If it happened, Hashem did it to me. If Hashem did it to me, something good must be out of it. But if you can see it, you will not be sad anymore. So he said, you know, and you see that all the components, you see all what happened. You know, look what happened before October. I'm just thinking, who was the head of the terrorists? You know who was the head? Who was the head, the snake?
In what?
You know who
Iran.
was the head? Iran was like a Tamnun. You know, Tamnun is an animal, you know. They have many arms. And they had one arm in Gaza. We have one arm, you know, in Syria. They have one arm in Lebanon. And she gave them millions of dollars. What happened to Iran? They're the best two leaders of Iran. They are in Gehinnom. And not only this, all the people they gave support money, all of them finished. Hezbollah, the damage in Syria, the damage in Lebanon. They said they wasted their money. And now they are dying, they're falling apart. But Bezrat Hashem is not complete because they still believe they can build up a nuclear bomb and to destroy us. They still believe in this. And we have to watch out. Now, you know, said what Israel doing and Trump together to eliminate the nuclear bomb. So the Shoshana Smecha, as I said, to see everything together. First, we said, do you remember when Yaakov saw Yosef, remember what he did? He did not kiss him. You remember what he did?
Shema Israel.
He pray. Shema
Shema
Israel.
Israel. What is Shema Israel? He was happy. Why he was happy? He saw in Ruach HaKodesh, he saw Yosef in the pit. He saw Yosef with the wife of Potiphar. He saw Yosef in the jail. But now he sees Yosef with the crown on his head. And he took all of them together. He saw the pit and the jail and the wife, which is very negative, with the kingdom that is now, it's all under one umbrella, all under one God. It's Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So now, if we feel him now, the same idea we have not only in Purim, we have in Pesach. Why we have in Pesach? We have a story. What is Haggadah? Haggadah is telling the story of Pesach. Now, you have some good news and some bad news. Nachon? When we were slaves in Egypt, it's not such a good thing. When we were being redeemed, that's a good news. How you start the Haggadah? With disgrace, with the bad news, or the good news?
Bad news.
Bad news. Bad
It's
news.
bad news.
We
He
were
said,
speaking
צריך להתחיל לכלל פאב, בגנות ולסיים בשבע. You have to begin with disgrace and end up with praise.
Yes.
Why? Because you will never appreciate the praise if you don't have the disgrace.
Right.
So that's why he said, that's why he said. And he said at the end, Baal Haggadah, when you have time, that you have to eat afikoman before the midnight, nachon?
Yes.
What if you have another 15 minutes extra? So what are you going to tell your children? The good news or bad news?
Good news.
So look what the halacha. וכל המוסיף מעריך בדרש פרשה זו הרי זה משובח. If you have time, increase time with the bad news.
Huh.
You know why? Who is now appreciate freedom? The people coming out from Gaza or us?
The people coming from
The
Gaza.
people of Gaza.
More
Who
than us.
appreciate more the freedom? The one after 20 days been released or one after 500 days?
500 days.
Yeah, if the people said, more disgrace you have, more appreciation you have. We take the freedom that we have for granted. But Haman could be in every country today. Haman is Iran. The same thing like today. But we have to appreciate. So he said, no, tell your children the gnud, the disgrace. Then you tell them, Baruch Ata Hashem Ga'al Israel. Then at the end, when you drink the second cup, you said the redemption. By the end of the Haggadah, you said about the redemption. שהקדוש ברוך הוא רוצה שנבואי השם, Hashem, when he said we went out of Egypt, now the people going out of Gaza, I don't want you to remember all the picture when they went out of Gaza. I want you to see the whole picture now, tonight. When I finish you with Shiur, there is a big program on the Israeli TV, on Channel 12, that one, his name is Yemen, his name is Eli Sharabi. Eli Sharabi, he was released last week, and the broadcaster said to him, please, I don't want to go to ask you a question that put you on spot. I want you to draw me the boundaries, how much I can ask you. You know what he told her? Ask me anything you want. Wow. No boundaries. I want the whole world to know what I went through.
Wow. The
whole world. And this man is not really, his brother is Sharabi, is, by the way, my last name Tsaidi, but Tsaidi is Sharabi. He said, his brother is religious, but they asked the brother that with kippah on his head, why he said Be'ezrat Hashem, Baruch Hashem, and he wants, Havdalah to do. He said, everything is from Abba. Ma'aba, from the tradition, from the house. The emunah, we have the faith. Even people do not keep Shabbat later on, but the emunah, the faith we have. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see. Maybe next time I will tell you what he said. Maybe you can find out on computer, on the discussion. The name of the program is called Uvda, fact. Uvda. It's tonight. So if you want, I know they will say it with translation, but you can find out. I don't know what will happen. So Hashem said to Moshe asked Hashem, what if they ask me your name, what is the name? So remember what he said, what is the name? I gave you full sure on this. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. Very good, you remember. Why
Yes.
Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh? Because said, depend. When they need me, I have many names. So if you need me for a war, I come with heroism. If they need me for mercy, I come with mercy. If I need, depend. That's a Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. I will be what you will be. Depend what you need me for. You need me for refuah shlema, so I'll give you medication. I'll give you Raphael, the angel Raphael. So Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. But look what he says. Avraham Avinu said to Hashem, do you remember when he said, we thought his lack of faith? When he said Eretz Israel is for you? Remember what Avraham says? Bameh eda ki irashena. How do I know? How do I know that I'm going to inherit the land? Hashem said to him, look, line 6. Try to remember this, my dear friend. Vayomer Hashem el Avraham yadoa teda.
Teda.
Wow.
You will
What
know.
Avraham asked? Bameh eda. What is ladat?
To know.
To know.
No. How do I know? But what Hashem said, 2 pieces of knowledge. Yadoa teda.
Teda.
Double. You know what is yadoa teda? You ever heard the I don't know if it's a joke or statement. I have, 2 news for you. 1 good news, 1 bad news. What do you want to hear first? נכון?
Yes.
Yadoa teda is good news and bad news. Yadoa is bad news. Teda is a good news. Now listen, we have 3. Line 7. Yadoa shani befazran. I want you to know I'm going to scatter all the Jews all over the world. You go to Panama, you'll find Jews. You go into Santa Clara, you'll find Jews. You go to New York, you'll find Jews. Look at the globus. You'll see Jews all over the world. That's bad news or good news?
50-50.
I know you're in Panama, you want to feel comfortable, but that's not good news. I want
We
all
should
the
all be in
Eva,
Israel.
I want you to be in Israel.
But,
I want to be in
Rabbi,
Israel.
it's good
Right,
news
that's
because the
fair.
prophecy is being done. O sea, we are all over.
We are all over,
In-
but
in the
that's the
sky.
bad news. What is
But
Teda? Teda shani mekabtzan. Now, you know Tfilat Shmona Esrei, you do. I know you do.
Yes.
Try to help me to say it by heart. Tka b'shofar gadol,
לחירותנו.
חירותנו, ושא נס,
לגלויותינו.
גלויותינו.
לקבץ גלויותינו.
Kabitzel.
We ask Hashem, the shofar gadol of the Mashiach is to gather all the Jews together. That's the good news. Another bad news. Yadoa shani memashkenam. You know what is mashkon? You know what is mashkanta? Mashkanta is mortgage. It's collateral.
Hipoteca.
To put the Jewish nation as a collateral. These people been kidnapped. They took them as a collateral. If
Yes.
not the kidnapped people, we will destroy Hamas in few weeks.
In 24 hours.
Kidnap people as a shield, as a human shield.
Of course.
Said, okay, that's a very bad news. Teda shani porkan. The good news is I'm going to redeem them. Sometimes we pay big price. By the way, I don't know if you know, the price is very, very big, very heavy. But right
Yes.
now, number 1, the mitzvah is to redeem them out, because every day somebody can die. They don't eat, they don't drink, they don't see light. Every day somebody can die. He said, Porkan. Last but not least, Yadoa shani mesha'bedam. The bad news, I'm going to enslave them to the goyim. Teda shani go'alam. The good news, I'm going to redeem them. So
Amen.
Yadoa teda. So Yadoa belong to what? To the galut, to the bad news. Teda is Eretz Israel, is the Geulah. Yadoa teda. But what is the ability? Why you are in Panama, you are happy? Most of you are happy. No, you're not happy? You know why
Yes.
you're happy? Because you see Israel and you together. That's why you're happy. You see, it's under one umbrella. One day, Be'ezrat Hashem, if you pray really from your heart, you pray to Hashem to come to Yerushalayim. I hope you pray with your heart, to come. But you know, it's not easy, but people can sound. That's the redemption. That's the reality. Now I'm going to see, you know what is the worst chapter in Gilat Esther? The scary.
When she went to see the king.
When?
When she went to see the king, that she thought she was going to die.
No, even before. Much worse than this.
The decree.
The decree.
The
The
decree.
decree.
How do you know when the decree was really signed up? You know when? When Haman got the ring.
Pesach.
When Haman got the ring in chapter Gimel in Gilat Esther.
Yes.
Look line 18. ויסר המלך את טבעתו מעל ידו ויתנה להמן בן המדתה הגגית צורר היהודים. ויאמר המלך להמן, הכסף נתון לך והעם לעשות בו כטוב בעיניך. The Haman bribed the king. He gave him 10,000 gold, square of gold. A lot of gold.
But he didn't take it.
But he tried to bribe him. The point is, that's final solution. That's exactly what Hitler wanted to do. A taba, the ring was a stamp. It's not just a ring for beauty. In the ring, they have inside the ring here, engraved, is a stamp. When you stamp with the tabat melech, nobody can change it. That's the worst chapter in the whole Bible. But you know what happened in chapter 8, Perek Het?
They gave the
Listen.
ring to Mordechai.
Huh?
They gave the ring to Mordechai.
Now the tabat in Haman is the Yadoa or Teda?
Teda.
Yadoa is the bad news. Now Teda, Vayaser, look line 23, Perek Het, chapter 8. ויעשר המלך את טבעתו אשר העביר מהמן ויתנה למרדכי ותשם אסתר את מרדכי על בית המן. Now when the ring was transfer from Haman to Mordechai, so the rest is history.
Now it's Teda.
Everything changed. Now, do you remember the Shoshana? Now, you know what our ability is? If you see chapter Gimel on its own, it's very bad. You have to see Perek Gimel and Perek Het together. Yahad. Who gave the ring to Haman?
King.
Hashverosh. Hashverosh.
I knew you will say Hashverosh, but I have something else to tell
The
you.
king.
Haman?
Hashem.
The king.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Yes.
Even the Satan is Mashaliach. But the same God, like the same Yosef, they put him in the pit, the same God gave him the crown. So the same God, remember, he had a plan. We didn't know on Perek Gimel, nobody knew what will happen in Perek Het. Nobody even knew the happy end. But the happy end was Hashem knew. Hashem had a plan to remove the ring. By the end of the shiur, in few minutes, you will see what the power this ring has. So you understand what the Shoshana? The Shoshana is Hamas, has Hezbollah, has Iran, has Syria, has this. But in 1 minute Hashem can take. By the way, Syria is not the same Syria that was 3 months ago.
No.
Syria is eliminated. It's not anymore. Assad is history. They call it Syria, but it's not Syria. The same thing about Gaza. Gaza should not be at all. It should be Riviera. It would be like in France. It could be beautiful. It's the Mediterranean Sea over there. They can make a beautiful city over there. We gave them to make Singapore, not Gaza. They made it Gehinom. But Hashem, you'll see that Hashem, Hashem, he has his own plan. But we see the plan is God, Be'ezrat Hashem, step by step. I would like to conclude this shiur with question. Who has more power? The ring that Hashem removed from Haman to Mordechai? You know how many prophets we had? How many women prophets we had?
7.
This you know.
Yes.
How about the men you don't know? I tell you, 48.
48 prophets.
48 Nevi'im and 7 Nevi'ot. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Who had more power? 48 Nevi'im and 7 Nevi'ot?
The
or the
women.
of Mordechai? So why, I tell you, I quote you Megillah, Masechet Megillah, page 14. גדולה שרת הטבעת יותר מ-48 נביאים ו7 נביאות.
Wow.
The transfer of the Tabat is much greater than 48 Nevi'im from Moshe Rabbeinu all the way to Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. And
Wow.
7 Nevi'ot. Wow, that's too much. Is
Wow.
that exaggeration?
Wow.
Can you tell me why? Let me tell you why. Because we are in a hurry. You have to finish. Listen. When the Jewish people in Iran, in Paras, in Persia, when Haman was killed, was hung up, and Mordechai got the power, and Esther got the power, how many people make tshuva?
All Am
All
Israel.
Am
Martha,
Israel.
say loud, not quiet.
All Am
All
Israel.
Am Israel.
All of Israel. How many people made tshuva with 48 Nevi'im and 7 Nevi'ot?
Some of them.
Some of them, not all of them. He said, one tabat, gdola sarata tabat. So my dear friend, our conclusion, we have to be happy. Shoshanat Yaakov tzara v'samecha. But why? When we have the ability, number one, and it's not a joke, it's not a metaphor, it's reality. Stick together. Let's stick together and let's see everything together. What happened in Iran? What happened in Gaza? What happened in Lebanon? What happened in Syria? What's going on in the world? Everything under one God. And Be'ezrat Hashem to go elevate ourselves among the Kotzim, and then we will be happy. And
Amen.
Be'ezrat Hashem, Shabbat before Purim is Mihyat Amalek. Is Shabbat Zachor. And I hope by Shabbat Amalek, I give you 2 more weeks to see every Amaleki out of this earth. And
Amen.
see every Amaleki out of this earth, Be'ezrat Hashem will see Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mera b'yameinu amen.
Amen. Azaku Baruch, Rabbi.
Hazaku Baruch.
Hazaku Baruch.
Azaku Baruch.
57 minutes and 30 seconds.
Great.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Lots of information.